like 15 minutes ago.
We're live now, by the way.
All right.
So, welcome to the Beer Nonsense Podcast. I actually just updated the background this second, so we're trying out something new. I'm thinking about, changing around the black background and all that, but for now, since we all have cams, I thought this was okay to begin with.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it right now. I could add a logo or add some color stuff, but for now, I think it looks okay. So, hi guys, how are you?
I'm good. I finally got my webcam up, so
now we can do actual introductions.
Yeah.
So I'm Brad.
I am
I'm
Z.
Bill. Yes, I'm Bilky.
That's Bilky.
As
For
he's
once,
flexing, I'm Bilky. Oh,
Bilky strong.
Bilky strong. So for once, I don't have any topics. So I was just gonna give it right away to Billy.
Yeah,
Ooh.
the E3 trailer for Battlefield 6.
Not an E3 trailer, but yeah,
but it's
yeah, the overall
scrumptious,
trailer.
still good
I mean,
trailer.
Didn't they show it at E3?
No, E3 starts today. That
Alright.
the first, but it was Summer Games Fest.
Yeah,
was
that's
the
what
last
it
couple
was.
That's what it
Games
was.
Fest, Yeah.
Which they showed the gameplay you're talking about, or not the gameplay, but the trailer, and then they showed Elden Ring too, which we could talk
if I
about
remember
later.
correctly, they said that tomorrow they're supposed to show the first gameplay footage of it.
Yeah, I think you're right. 13th, right?
Yes, I believe
I'm
so.
excited.
Same.
Would you guys want a battle royale with this one?
Why not?
Why
not?
I asked specifically because Billy's not a big battle royale guy, but you like Battlefield though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a more of a Battlefield fan than I have been for Call of Duty.
Right.
Mostly because in my opinion, they've had better campaigns. Like, don't get me wrong, Call of Duty's had some fantastic campaigns, but I just feel that Battlefield's was a lot better, and the multiplayer was big. I liked having the destructive battlefields.
124 players, right? No, 128 is what they're doing. It's
Is that-
64
something
versus
like that.
64, but
Yeah.
that's PC, Xbox Series X. I don't know about Xbox Series S, and then PS5 only.
PS5.
The PS4 and Xbox One and all that. That's 64 players only.
Which,
Yeah.
regardless, is still pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. That's what it's always been.
Yeah,
So
I
I like
mean,
32
Honestly,
versus
I
32.
feel like if anyone with a grounded FPS game can do it well without being as buggy and as bad as how Warzone has been, I think they could do it. I think DICE can do it.
Oh, that
Yeah,
1000%.
And I feel like DICE has better game engines too, anyways.
Like they're already used to making big scale
Huge maps, huge
Yeah.
destructible maps might be added. So we have
Exactly.
extra stuff that we could possibly do if they do come out with the battle royale mode. I feel like I probably would at least definitely play it, and then form my own opinion on it from the gameplay. But
So
if they had a battle royale mode where you can just say "fuck off" to the cover that someone's hiding behind,
that'd be nice.
yeah.
But-
How many times have you been tracking someone? They just run into a building and you can't hit them.
Yeah, Battlefield has always had kind of half-ass, fully destructible environments. Like,
But when you look back at it, I don't mean to cut you off, but when you look back at it, like when you say half-assed, I mean comparing that to any other game, it's
more than Call of Duty, more than Halo, more than every other
more than
FPS.
anything. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I mean, the only one that's come close to it, in my opinion, which isn't even that big of a scale, is Rainbow Six. I mean,
Yeah.
that was Rainbow Six's whole deal, was originally being able to have a destructible map, but as you can see, it's not completely.
Yeah, and
I feel like that's the only one that was close to it.
I think Siege does it right though. I actually like that a lot for a game that's supposed to be 99% indoors. That's fine. Battlefield obviously is supposed to be outdoors. Like that's a
Right.
big scale maps. Like, I mean, if they did something where it was a hospital or something like a huge ass building, I'd also be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're predominantly a city scale map. And then what? So I know Billy wanted to talk about this a little bit with the trailer. So one of the big highlights that was super cool was they showed someone shooting a jet up, riding the jet upward, jumping out, shooting the other jet with a rocket and then being able to fall back into the cockpit of their own jet.
Mhm.
That's something that they did back in Battlefield 3 just for shits and giggles, and I love that they highlighted that.
Actually, it wasn't just done in Battlefield 3. This is something that I found out a couple days ago when I was talking to Z about it. They actually, it actually was done in Battlefield 1942. Someone was flying a Japanese Zero and looped the plane and shot the Wildcat that was behind them with a rocket, and then got back into the Zero and took off.
That's amazing. I love that.
I saw it. I was like, "Whoa! Like, what the heck?" Like the graphics, of course, were 1942 graphics, and it happened. I was like, "What?"
Right. That's
Right.
great. So yeah, like, I'm gonna call it like half destructible
Hmm.
environments. I like that a lot. I don't think that they'd be able to pull that off with a battle royale just because of how demanding it would be of the systems. Um, they might. Who knows? The
Mhm.
PS5 is powerful. PCs are getting
Right.
powerful. Like the 3090 could do things that we never expected. But with
Yeah,
the people like so on my PC, I only have a laptop. I think it's like a 1066 Ti or something. Like it's not
Mhm.
a great graphics card. So for people like me, they might not even be able to play the game if it's like that. So
Right.
they also have to think about the people that are still on last gen, or even like when it comes to PC parts, the gen before.
Right.
Um,
true.
that also brings me to another thing. Did you guys know that Battlefield 5 had a battle royale mode?
No, I did not. I
Yeah.
I think
completely
Battlefield 5
skipped
was the
over
one I
that.
didn't play.
And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
and that it kind of it extends my point of should this one have a battle royale, because you guys didn't even know the last one had it. It's that forgettable. They didn't do a good job with it. It was
Well, I
called
just think they didn't do that good of a job with that game at all. Like,
yeah,
be
it
I
was
fair-
completely skipped it.
To be fair, before Warzone, there were, I guess, acquired tastes towards battle royales. I mean, you have PUBG, which the gameplay itself is very 50-50. You either like it or you don't.
yeah,
And then Fortnite Battle Royale, it's like you either like that style of the game or you don't. So like
that's true.
you never really saw a mainstream type of Battle Royale where everyone's just like, oh yeah, everyone knows about this until Warzone.
Mhm.
And that's also, I feel like that's also the reason why no one really cared or remembered for Battlefield 5.
Yeah, Fortnite was the big kickoff of battle royales. I think PUBG was um, a good predecessor. It introduced the idea, and then what was it, like H1Z1 or whatever, had a battle royale
Mhm.
as well.
Yep.
So those set the path for it. Fortnite is what blew up the genre, and then Warzone is what attracted like old school gamers, people that like Call of
Old
Duty.
school
So
and casual, yeah.
yeah, so Fortnite semi-casual really started to twist its way just for kids, and then Warzone was, oh, battle royales could be for adults too. Like we could have fun with this. It's something a little more serious, for lack of a better term, that we can enjoy.
Mhm.
I played Fortnite in its heyday. I liked it a lot back in the day. I didn't care for the building too much, and then Warzone
So
came out, and I love Warzone. So
for me, Fortnite was one of the first games I followed. Like, I can't remember for how long they were working on that game, but it was years. And I
Mhm.
remember having the Game Informer magazine that had it as a cover. I had that for a long time, and I was like, dude, this is such a cool idea. I mean, like, people love the idea of like a horde mode type of thing. Like, aside from the Battle
Mhm.
Royale, it was mainly just a horde mode thing,
it was
campaign thing,
Save the
co
World,
op.
Yep.
right?
Yeah, it was like structure building, whatever. And like it was such a cool idea. And on top of that, the artwork and the animations are really cool. But then once the game came out, I was just like, I don't know, man. I'm not really feeling this.
It
Yeah.
And
was
then
very
Battle Royale came out
underwhelming.
for it. Yeah, I just I followed it for a long time, only to not like it when it came out.
Yep.
I just like both shooters. I think I could play just about any shooters. I was surprised with how much I did like it back then, because I don't care for third person shooters too much, besides Gears of War, which is my favorite third person shooter out there.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Gears of War is the best.
you mentioned Siege, Billy. So today they actually showed a trailer. I didn't get to see any gameplay footage. Was there gameplay footage, Z?
Yeah, they showed clips and all right, so hear me out on this, Billy, because I know you're pretty much done with Rainbow Six, but the clips that they showed for Extraction, that's what they're calling it now,
Mhm.
very Gitfo, like the
GTFO.
gameplay. Yeah. So for anyone that doesn't know, GTFO is this
Oh,
indie game on Steam, and I'm pretty sure it's still early access, but it's
Probably.
yeah,
it's kind of like a horror
it's in
based
beta.
very strategic, take your time on like going through missions. I think we only beat like two
Fighting
missions out
fighting
of like whatever.
aliens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
aliens are
Yeah.
like mutated humanoids, whatever, but like the idea of it was they didn't give you enough ammo to begin with, and even when you do have max ammo, it's still not enough.
Yeah,
So
you
what
can't
they
even
also
get through
give
one
you,
wave. You can't
yeah,
get
what they
through one
also,
single wave with that much ammo. Sorry.
yeah, they give you a certain gadget for your character, whether it's like a minigun or a foam gun, and then but you always have a melee weapon on you, which is a different variety of hammers. And what we mainly used was that we were just trying to like sneak up on them, hit them in the head, bonk them, and then we're good.
Bonk.
But yeah, and that's pretty much the type of clips that they were showing on Extraction was the team just like sneaking up on these alien creatures. They actually gave you an execution animation to take them out from behind.
That's
It's a
cool.
lot
I
of
didn't see that.
like yeah, it's a lot of take your time with it because those things look like they can fuck you up.
Mhm.
And you still get the lean mechanic too, which is
Yeah,
a very simple mechanic in Siege that I enjoy a lot. It's
for
not
sure.
like completely game changing thing, but it's something I enjoy. It feels more realistic. I like being able to peek around corners realistically, and keeping the core gameplay or the core gameplay mechanics of Siege, and then transferring it to this tactical team shooter. I enjoy a lot.
Yeah, it's on top of that, it's just nice seeing the cinematic trailers between the characters because that's probably like one of my favorite things about Siege is like the lore behind these characters and how they interact with each other. So like adding this into a its own type of game, like it's pretty cool.
To add to that, Billy,
Mhm.
it starts so. This all started back with an event in Siege.
Biohazard.
Yeah, so it was Biohazard, which was a basically a beta test for Rainbow Six Quarantine, which is now Extraction because COVID. They want to
Hmm.
change the name. Um, that was during the season that Finka and Lion were introduced, correct? Z?
Yep, Operation
So
Yep.
Chimera.
all of these ops are in this game too. So you see Lion and Finka, you see Ella, you see Habana, Alibi's in there. I think I saw Thatcher. So it's the
Looks
Siege
like
characters
Rook's in
that
there
we
too.
know, we like, and they have their same gadgets. Ella threw one of her Ella mines, so she has her same
Mhm.
gadgets. So it's
But they
literally
also have certain gadgets for that game
specifically for
itself that
that.
will work for that horde.
Different
Yeah.
claymores or grenades.
And I know we were talking to our buddy earlier about it, how he felt like none of the stuff from Chimera was going to jump onto this, but they showed a clip of that tank creature
Yeah,
from Operation Chimera, and
it was
same
like
thing, just
a
a slightly different look.
it was like
It
a
was
mini
more armored
boss.
than anything.
It was like a mini
Yeah.
boss in Chimera. Yeah. So I
Yes.
like that a lot. Siege is one of my favorite games, no matter how much I shit on it. Uh, I do like the aspect of I like the Tom Clancy world. I like the books too, but
Oh, definitely.
the fact that they're taking that and turning it into this a tactical shooter fits well within the Siege genre, and
Yeah.
I by tactical shooter I mean a tactical co-op shooter, not PvP. But
Mhm.
I think out of any game, Siege or Tom Clancy slash Rainbow Six, whatever, I think they do that the best, or
Oh,
they
for
could do
sure.
it the best. Like if Call of Duty tried
Well,
to do the same thing, not at all. I think it flopped.
honestly, yeah, I have no faith in Activision Raven Software right now. Like with how bad Warzone was for the last year or so, I just honestly I have no faith in them doing anything good after.
Season 4's coming out this week, right?
I believe so. Yes.
I just wish that
Um,
we got a bigger. I don't like Verdansk 84 or whatever they're calling it.
I don't think anyone does, honestly. Like some people will take it as it is just because it's like new colors, new textures, whatever, a few new buildings. But like still, yeah, I think everyone's with you on that. Like we were all expecting something new. Matter of fact, a lot of leaks were pointing towards a whole new map specifically from Cold War.
Yeah, so the leaks for that were Billy, do you remember when we played the beta, we played the Warzone type game where you have to get the gas canisters or whatever it was,
Hmm.
the
You
uranium.
have to get the nukes.
Yeah, so they were thinking about taking all of those maps, the big maps that we played on,
Hmm.
and combining them into a Warzone map. And I would have liked that a lot. I'd probably be playing Warzone right now.
Yeah,
But
that'd be pretty cool.
if it was something new, and that brings up a point of Ravensoft. I think that they have done okay for taking over the game entirely, but the weapon balancing with new guns has just been atrocious. Now,
Yeah.
the guns that are already existing and they're trying to change around metas, I think they've done okay with that, but I think there's some money motivation behind making the brand new guns super overpowered because okay, let's introduce this the snake shot type guns or whatever,
Hmm.
make them super OP for like 2 weeks maybe, just because everyone's gonna want to buy the
Everyone,
blueprint. I
either that or they're just gonna scramble for however many hours to max it out and then set up their loadout the way they want.
Yeah, and I
Hmm.
don't like that, but I get it from a business perspective, but I don't have any respect for it. There are a lot of ways to bring in more money, and that's not one, in my opinion, that you should implement. Or
I agree.
or they're not, and they just actually their team does miss these things, but it's
Accent
it's some
balancing.
it's some big things that they're missing though. You remember the AS
Hmm.
Val when it first came out?
Hmm. Oh yeah, I remember.
That was never nerfed. Aside, I mean,
The
the multiplayer perspective, yes.
Well, no, the single shot through the map,
The 10 round
Right,
mag that
the
you
10
can
round
literally
mag.
fire
right.
through an entire
But for the
multiplayer
most
map.
part, that was only used in multiplayer because, sure, it had its strengths in Warzone, but for the most part, that thing was a lot better fully auto than semi-auto in Warzone.
Hmm.
Yeah, people did it in Warzone with snapshot grenades and were able to
I did
clear out small building. Yeah, we all did. We all did. I say I talk shit about this, but we all exploit it because
We
it's the
all did
fun
it.
thing to do.
Yeah.
The
You get shot
shotgun,
through a wall and you're like, how the hell? And then you're just like, fuck it. You do it. And you're like, oh my God, this is awesome.
right? Everyone used the DMR when that was a thing.
Yep.
Ah, God, that DMR, dude. That was
I hated
probably
the
the
DMR
lowest
meta.
point. That was the lowest point in my opinion.
I
So
agree.
didn't you
Like,
guys stop playing during that?
Kind
yeah,
of.
that's what made me
You guys
stop.
set up a class and then you're like, nah, this is stupid.
Yeah. I didn't like it.
Yeah,
So my gameplay style, I am a up close gunfight person. So when I play Apex, I play characters like Octane who get me up into enemies' faces so I can melt them in front of me because I'm good at gunplay that close. Now, when it comes to medium to long range with a DMR, I'm missing half of my shots and I just get annoyed. But the thing with the DMR too is these kids who are also bad at medium to long range, it makes them feel good because they could just bop, 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 40 rounds or however big the DMR could get, and you could kill people in 2 shots. So you could
yeah, all I
mag
really
dump
needed were those two shots. Yeah.
because the recoil was that small too. It wasn't just
Yep.
a strong gun; it had little to no recoil if you had
At
the right
a,
attachments.
at a certain
Mhm.
range, it was a one shot to the head down.
Yeah. So
But
hate
yeah,
that.
that was the worst part of it, honestly. I mean, because like before the Cold War weapons were brought up, like sure these new weapons through modern warfare had their it's new and it's better than most of them, but it wasn't like as drastic as all the Cold War weapons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been multiple metas after another, just like because it's too overpowered.
Yeah.
Like the Cold War MP5 compared to the Modern Warfare multi or MP5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So um I understand the switch that they made this past season with Warzone, where the ground loot is only Cold War guns. I understand it. I don't like it. I liked having a mix between Cold War and Modern Warfare ground loot. Now it's you get all these Cold War guns, and so me and Zuriel played last week, and it was my first time playing for 2 or 3 months now. I landed. We played, call it 4 games, right? I landed and got the same 2 guns on drop each time over and over again, and they're super shitty weapons. The PPSH and then the CAR V or whatever it is, and I kept getting those guns, and I kept getting in gunfights right away. The people that already had their loadouts were fucking me over because I'm only finding the stupid PPSH. I try to shoot, you're 5 meters in front of me. The PPSH shoots into the ceiling after 2 bullets.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
That-
decent at recoil control. That thing fucked me up somehow. I don't understand that.
I didn't like that weapon either. I mean, just because it was new, it also felt like it could have been more overpowered, but that surprisingly wasn't as
Yeah.
bad. It was just kind of an obnoxious weapon. Like, I don't know. I I haven't really played that game enough recently, so
Yeah.
Mhm. Going
Um,
back to the Rainbow Six Extraction
Yeah.
trailer, I would be completely fine with Extraction as long as it's like the trailer. Last time Rainbow Six put a game out, like Siege, right? When they put
Oh my
Siege
God.
out, they changed everything from the trailer. And in my opinion, everything from the
Yeah.
trailer and that beta play was way better than anything in the game. But after like watching it again the other day, because it popped up on one of my feeds on TikTok, I was like, this is just a movie. Like it's not even like they're playing. It's literally like they just put a movie together.
Yep.
So as long as Extraction is how the trailer makes it look, how the gameplay deep dive reveal makes it look, then I'd be fine with playing that.
Yeah.
I still go back to that E3 trailer every now and then, just because like,
Yes.
what a great way to introduce a new style of
Mhm.
their game, and it was just like, dude, they changed so much. Just the lighting alone, they changed.
Lighting,
like
like the
crazy.
barricading, the way that the weapon rounds actually interact with the walls. Now instead you get like no matter what you shoot, it's always a circle. Whereas the other one, it was like just literal bullet holes, which they still have. But you shoot enough bullet holes, it brings down a thing. This one, it was literally just unless it was a shotgun or something, or you shot holes in a circle, it's just the bullet holes and the barricades. Oh, I loved the style of the barricades.
Yeah.
Yeah, from the E3 trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a really cool style, and then
Don't
they
even get
just
me
completely
started.
changed it.
Don't even get me started on the ability to have a helicopter spawn.
Right.
Oh man, everyone to this day will bring that up, and then I'm with you on that because that's such a cool, especially especially with how bad these guys are at spawn peeking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like having that helicopter would have been nice to have there. Like it's it's pretty bad, but another one that I really wished, I just wanted to see how that would have been like and the finished product. There's a certain point in that E3 trailer where the hostage is in the basement and they end up going upstairs, completely destroying the top floor, whatever part they ended up putting their breaching charge on. And it wasn't a
Mhm.
hatch. It was just like a regular floor. It didn't have any like
Yep.
metal pipes or anything like that to block you. It was just completely open and you can jump down. I can
Yep.
see why they took it off, but I just honestly I would have loved to see how that looked like on the finished product.
Would have been fun.
It would have been a lot. It would have been a little bit harder for defenders for sure because now you have to worry about any wooden floor or any breachable floor.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would have just been so much more fun. I mean, because people are still blowing floors anyways and shooting you.
Yeah.
Like now they can't drop on top of you.
With how ridiculous that game is, like people forget. Actually, there's a lot of people that don't even know how bad it
Mhm.
was when it first came out. Like that's actually what made me stop playing it in the beginning because I got it when it first came out. And I was just like, fuck this shit, dude. I only got up to like level 15. Stopped playing it until like 6 months later. I get back to it and I haven't stopped.
Well, now you stopped.
Yeah.
we've
I
we've
burned
all stopped playing
myself out.
Siege. Yeah.
I burned myself out with
I mean,
it.
we all have 600, 700, 800 hours in that fucking game on PC alone. So
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
all my hours are on PS4.
Yeah, yeah.
What-
Oh man, don't even get me started on PS4. Like
The
that
thousands
alone,
of hours on
that was
that.
that alone was like at least 500 hours on PS4, and then on PC I put in like I think I can look at it right now on Steam. It's like 1,600 hours on there.
The thing that killed it for me though was because I was one of the first from our group to transition from PlayStation 4 to PC, and because I didn't get it right off the bat, I didn't have as many characters, but I also hated that I had to go back through and buy all the characters that I had already unlocked on the PS4, despite having my UPlay accounts linked.
yeah,
Yep,
cross
that was
progression
always really
would have
obnoxious.
benefited.
Which is
Hmm.
funny because they were just talking about that. I didn't get a chance to like listen to it, but they did have that as a topic by the end of their live stream, bringing in cross play and cross progression.
They did say
I mean,
both.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what they said about it because, like I said, I wasn't there for it, but it was definitely one of the topics.
I'd be happy with cross progression because let me log in
Hmm.
on my Xbox account with my current Ubi account where I have everything
Right.
unlocked, and then with my gunplay skill and Xbox, I'm probably gonna just shit on all the kids on there.
Well, they did say so for Stadia and Luna and Steam or PC. All three of those are going to be able to crossplay, and then Xbox and PlayStation are going to have crossplay.
Oh, so no PC to Xbox crossplay
Not that I know of. I'm
'Cause
not
that-
sure if they.
would be bad.
Yeah,
Well,
that
wouldn't
was,
PC
you say
players
that
would
the
shit on
console
everybody.
players? I was say you'd say that the console players would be at a severe disadvantage, not just because
Oh, yeah.
PC, it's easier to aim, but PC also has the leaning mechanic, and I don't think the consoles did.
Consoles do.
and on
Do
top
they?
of that, they don't have. So they have the leaning mechanic, but you have to aim down sights. He's
That's
talking
right.
about hip fire
Yeah.
aiming.
Yeah.
Hip fire leaning
Yeah.
is only on PC,
Yeah.
and that was a drastic thing.
Huge change.
Because
Yeah,
you're
and
at
like
PC, you're able to like lean that way. Your
Mhm.
gun's down, so you're walking faster, and then once you hit the corner, then you're able to pull it up. So
Yeah.
Right.
Xbox and PlayStation don't have that.
Yeah,
on
you had
top
to.
of that,
Actually,
on top of
ADS.
that, you don't have as many keys available to you
Yep.
like you do on PC. So like I'm mainly a default type of controller layout. So leaning every now and then, actually not every now and then, multiple times, I would try to lean in, but instead my character ends up meleeing, and it just
Right.
fucks up some of the gunfights.
That screwed me up when I first switched to PC, especially because I wasn't able to get the Q and E down that easily.
Yeah,
Now it's a lot easier, but especially starting off, there's a learning curve with it.
And I recently found out that PS4 is still having a mouse and keyboard situation.
That's
Like
shitty.
the last time I was consistent on PS4 was like 2 years ago. And that's when it started getting really bad. It was around the time when like Nomad was out or something like that. But that was just horrible. I mean, I was pretty up there on PlayStation. I was like my highest was Platinum 1.
Apple 3.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, that was my highest, and like I would also have friends that I would join in on that were lower ranks than me, and we would always find these Smurfs, whether they were Smurfs or it was their main, but like it was just always hard to tell if you were gonna end up having like a really like I guess balanced game or not because there's just so many people that were using mouse and keyboard, whether it was their main or whether it was their Smurf account. It was just plaguing that whole community on PlayStation.
Yeah.
And to
I
find
have
out that it's still out
never,
there.
I have never experienced as many Smurfs on a game as Rainbow Six.
Oh, agreed. You would be in like high level 100 for your main, and then you would just get matched up with a bunch of dudes that were like level 20, level 30, and they're just like moving around like they're diamond players.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. That was definitely one thing I really didn't like about that.
And that's the
Free fire
problem
fucking
with
corners.
that's the problem I have with getting other people into the game too, because you're gonna have to walk in already sweating as a brand new player because of Smurfs, and it's unfortunate.
Such an
Mhm.
unforgiving multiplayer game too. Like
And it's a shame because
so
it's a
hard
good
to
game.
understand it. Yeah,
You know,
it takes a while to like actually get used to the gameplay, and it doesn't help out when you have a bunch of cheaters just ruining it for everyone.
yeah.
And aside from that, you also have these toxic people that just because you're new, like that's the reason why I stopped playing it on Xbox. I had it, I played on Xbox for like I want to say up to like level 20, and this was after I've already had like hundreds of hours on whatever else. I was just like, I just want to try it out because I had it I don't know for how long, but I've had it on the Xbox. It's like, I'll just try it out just for shits and giggles. And people were just like they were kicking me, they were team killing me just because I was such a low level and it was casual too. It was just like the Xbox community for Rainbow Six was the worst community out of the three. Out of that, PS4 and PC, Xbox was the worst.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
it like you look at games like Call of Duty and stuff like that's pretty bad too. But in Siege, you can TK and that takes you out for an entire round, which could be 5-6 minutes, however
Hmm.
long the longest round can go.
Mhm.
And then also getting TK screws over the rest of your team too because it's truly a 5v5. Everyone has their part in the game. Um, Call of Duty, you shit talk, you in TK in hardcore, you can't really kick people out. So Siege
Right.
has all of the things in place that could just, fuck over your
Make or break.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of Ubisoft, I don't know if you guys saw this. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora.
I saw that. Yeah. That
So,
is weird. I was not expecting that.
do you
And they only
remember?
showed a trailer.
Yeah, do you remember the movie Avatar, Billy, the blue people one?
When you said or the Avatar
Pandora.
Frontiers of whatever, yeah, that
Pandora,
one, yeah, it made me immediately think of the tall blue fuckers.
So it is the tall blue fuckers. I half-assed watched the trailer. I can't tell what kind of game it's gonna be. Um, why would anyone fucking care?
Right.
So I was talking to a couple of our friends about this earlier. James Cameron, the director of the Avatar, the one Avatar film, um, he wanted to create that film in the early 2000s and kept pushing it back because the CGI technology wasn't where he wanted it yet. He wanted it to be matched up to where he could make it look great.
Well, let me add on another thing to that was the reason why he went with Avatar first. Originally, he had a passion project. If you guys have heard of it, the Alita Battle Angel movie
Yeah.
is based off of anime and manga, and it was just like it was his passion project. He really wanted this, but he also felt like the CGI wasn't there yet,
Yeah.
so he opted with Avatar and got his team. But like you said, the CGI still wasn't there yet, so he waited a long time until he brought that one out when he revolutionized it with the fucking 3D movie, which everyone knows that 3D is just whatever, man.
3D's
It's not that
half-assed.
big of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Um,
yeah, it's been way too long since that first one came out. And now that they're coming
2009.
out with a game.
2009. So then to add on to what I was saying, so Z summed it up pretty well with he, went through these two different movies that he waited a long time to make. Made Avatar first. 2009 is when it came out. It was okay when it came out. Not the best movie ever, but visually it was stunning. It actually did look really good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then nothing for years, and then a couple years later, James Cameron comes out and goes, "Oh yeah, we're working on 4 more Avatar movies or 3 more Avatar movies or something." He said multiple more Avatar movies.
Yep.
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 It's 2021, so 12 years after the first one came out, still no news on if those things are actually in the middle of filming or not, and they're gonna drop a fucking video game.
Didn't they drop spoilers or a teaser or something for Avatar 2?
I didn't hear anything about that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I haven't looked anything up on that. But it's just so fucking hilarious that it's been so long since that first movie came out, and it clearly looks like it's. I mean, obviously, it's only based off of that first movie.
Mhm.
Like, what exactly are they gonna make it as? Is it gonna be an RPG or is it gonna be some bullshit like money grab? Is like some 5-6 hour action adventure game?
So, according to just quick Google search, The Avatar 2 is supposed to come out December 16th, 2022.
Yep, I was just about to say that.
And to highlight this, though, it's the same fucking cast.
Yep.
So you have Zoe Saldana, you have Sam Worthington, and Sigourney Weaver.
And Diesel's in there.
12 years in
They're
between.
bringing her back.
12
Why are
years
they-
in between. And you're
Yeah,
going to
that
keep
too.
the same actors. Especially Sigourney Weaver. Like, she
Especially-
kind of old.
She fucking died in the movie.
Oh, she did, yeah. Flashback, maybe, but she's 71. Like, did you guys film this 12 years ago and now you're just, waiting? Yeah, Vin
Right.
Diesel's in it. That's strange.
Vin Diesel's also
He's going to talk about
in Arc
family.
2.
Who else is going to talk about family if not Vin
Diesel's
Diesel?
also in Arc 2.
So,
Yeah, he is. He is in Arc 2.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
actually, speaking of Vin Diesel, there's this really hilarious thing. You know how like rumors, I don't know if you guys have read up on any of these rumors where there's people would be, or like the creators or whatever would be okay with the idea of like crossing over with Jurassic World. Tell me why the first people to be able to watch that Jurassic World movie trailer will only be able to watch it if they watch Fast 9 on IMAX. Like,
IMAX
are they
specifically.
really hinting to like push towards that crossplay?
IMAX specifically?
Yeah, IMAX specifically.
That's hilarious. Yeah,
Yeah, you know what? And dinosaurs. Dinosaurs can't beat family.
Sure they can. It'll be Blue. Blue will be the family.
Jesus Christ.
Get a pet velociraptor, they said.
So
God,
you know
Vin
the whole
Diesel's a
thing.
goof.
You know the whole thing about Elon Musk wanting to send Dogecoin to the moon, quite literally.
Mhm.
Like he wants to take like a hard drive or whatever Dogecoin, put it on a rocket, send it to the moon. That's the story behind Fast and Furious 10. they're gonna actually race to the moon to
I
get
mean, at this
Dogecoin up there.
point- Yeah, at this point, the 10th one, I'll be completely disappointed if there's no rockets in it or no dinosaurs at this point. You just got to go big or go home. Like,
No, what's
they're
gonna
already-
happen? What's gonna happen is they're gonna launch, right? You're gonna see a bunch of different rockets with like custom engines in the hood on the rocket.
In the hood,
They're gonna take off. They're gonna get to the moon. There's gonna be dinosaurs there.
there's going to be family there.
Family.
You're right, family.
They're not just dinosaurs. They're family.
John Cena is going to be there too, just because.
You won't be able to see him.
You're just
but,
not gonna see him.
Next to Drax.
next to Drax. Speaking of Drax, have you seen first episode of Loki, Z?
No, I have not.
Chef's Kiss. It honestly, so with these Disney Plus Marvel shows, they're
What's that? Is that your cat?
oh. All right, okay. So I'm gonna say this quickly, and then I'm gonna segue pretty hard. So Loki, very good. So these Disney Plus shows, they're getting better and better. In my
They're hitting
opinion,
it on the nail every time.
every single time. Loki, fantastic. Like it's funny, as Tom Hiddleston tends to be, especially with his Loki character. Owen Wilson, great, phenomenal,
Love seeing him anywhere.
and he does a good job.
Wow.
And he's kind of just playing himself in everything he does.
Right.
But then it also gets deep and sad at one point, and you'll see it as you go. I won't spoil anything. Hard segue. My apartment's falling apart.
Is that what that was?
Well, that was laundry.
Oh,
So
Oh God! If that's laundry, what's your apartment sound like?
so that is the I have an option to like get an alert when my laundry's done. But because the I had it off and it shakes so hard that it turns it back on. So that was just me telling me that it was done. But I sent Zuriel the video this past Monday. The pipes in my bathroom went off at 12:30 in the morning, and it sounded like someone legitimately took a jackhammer into my fucking wall. Me and Kara were both dead asleep, shocked us the fuck awake. Like, you know that feeling when you're in a deep sleep and you get like your alarm clock goes off and you get like the like quick breath and you're kind of like scared for a second. Imagine that, but like it sounds like your fucking apartment's coming down. So then
Right.
we go into, actually, I wonder how loud this would be for the podcast if I could do it. This was obnoxiously loud. Can you hear that okay? Not at all?
Not one bit.
Can't
Okay.
hear anything, and you sound very like you're talking through a phone in the tunnel.
I wonder if the
Now it's back
filters.
to normal.
Yeah, I wonder. I think the filters I put on for my thing kind of canceled that out, the noise suppression, all that.
Probably.
Anyway, so again,
Yeah,
legitimately
great
sounds like a
filters.
jackhammer going off, and the part of it was the pipes were going crazy, which was shaking my entire toilet and was shaking the shower. So all the metal bits on the shower were rattling
Nice.
at 12:30 of the fucking morning on a Monday. And that freaked us the fuck out. This is going on for 20-30 minutes. We call an emergency maintenance guy to come in. 2 minutes before he shows up, shuts off. Oh, fucking great. Okay, at least I took a video. So then I show him the video, and he's like, there's still nothing I could do without hearing it. I'm like, oh, fuck it, of course. Sure enough, 4 more times throughout the night, it goes off again and scares us awake every single time. Kara and I are cranky all fucking day. They come in, takes them 5 fucking minutes to come in, and then they're like, hey, it's all done. You don't have to worry about it anymore, and leave. Now don't even tell me what it is. So then that brings me to today. Not as big as of a deal. Kara decides she wants to clean the kitchen. Opens up the cabinets underneath our sink, and there's shit water everywhere. And it smells terrible. We start cleaning everything out. It got all over my tools.
Of course.
Great, so now I have shit water tools. I was wiping them off. They're dry now, but they're going to smell like shit unless I decide to actually clean them.
Just throw them in some hand sanitizer, you'll be fine.
Right,
Smell that bitch.
So needless to say, I'm already looking at houses.
I don't.
Hey,
blame
man. You know what? You and Kara can get a house, and then Z can live with you guys. You guys
There
can
you
all
go.
split it, because I know it's expensive in the Chicago area.
The market's kind of crazy right now. Like, some houses are super expensive for
Yeah.
not much, but then some other houses
Yep.
are okay. Like, we found a couple houses that we're kind of interested in, but it's, is it going to be a fix me up? I'm just now starting a new job. I don't want to have to worry about all that right now while I'm getting comfortable with this brand new job
Right.
and learning all the new shit I have to learn. Like, my job is complicated now. So I actually have to take several months of training to actually learn it. And now I have to throw in looking for a job and all this in there, worrying about my pipes maybe fucking exploding. Oh, and I looked underneath. All I think it is I think the reservoir is rusted out, so I think they have to completely replace it.
Oh,
So that's fun. But
nice.
yeah,
I feel like if you and I would move in together, one of us would die. Eventually.
I'd agree with that.
Eventually.
It's
It's a risk
and
you're both
it's-
willing to take.
And it's you know what the best part is? It probably wouldn't even be over anything serious. It'd probably be some dumb shit like, why the fuck didn't you put the milk on this side?
And we'd kill each other. So speaking of that, Billy, have we ever told you about the time we thought Zuriel's house was going to explode?
I don't think you did.
So probably the dumbest story we have. We were all very drunk, underage too. Like we're stupid kids and we're all drunk.
Yeah, my parents were away for the weekend and it was just my brother and I. But my brother, he was already in his room sleeping because he had to work early. And this is us at like, I don't know, 12, 1 in the morning. So something happens where we ended up throwing like a ping pong ball because we were doing beer pong. It ended up going somewhere. Someone tripped over something and it was actually just a hose connected to the boiler, which is like facing towards a drain, just in case there's like some sort of overflow or whatever. It just shoots out into the drain. But one of us drunk
Do you smell
idiots,
gas?
yeah, one of the drunk idiots. It's just like, yeah, you smell gas. We're all looking at a fucking hose that we don't know where the end is supposed to connect to.
Is it coming from there? Oh my god, I think it's leaking gas.
Yeah, we we're we don't even know what to do. So we're like, dude, it could cause an explosion. Let's all go outside right now. We all go outside. I'm like banging on my brother's. I'm like, Josh, we gotta go. Get the fuck out, man. We gotta go. And then he like opens the door, mad as fuck. I'm like, what are you idiots talking about? I'm like, dude, the fucking boiler's gonna explode. He's like, he goes, he goes downstairs, checks it out. He's like, are you guys fucking shitting me? Are you looking after this?
So, but
You don't smell gas, Josh?
one of the better parts of that story, though, we all ran outside while Zuriel was doing that, and another one of our friends was just arriving, stone cold sober, and shows up, and we're like, "This house is gonna explode! There's a pipe!" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, okay, let's go!" And he just joins us, and it's just like, "Oh, well, he's a fucking idiot now too."
Who's the real idiot here?
It's Brian, wasn't it?
No,
No,
No.
Brian wasn't even there for that.
Brian
Oh,
wasn't
that's
a
probably
part
for
of
the
all
better.
that. Speaking of which, did you text Brian about tonight?
Yeah, he's not gonna be able to make it.
Okay. So tonight there's a UFC event. Some pretty big names on a card.
Well,
I
yeah.
again-
the main event, which is Israel Adesanya versus, I think it's Martin Vittori.
this is where Billy tunes out. So
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
Way ahead of you.
Martin Vittori. Or Marvin Vittori.
Marvin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
So,
not
yeah,
the
those two
not a
have already
big name,
faced
but
each other, and they went into decision. And yeah, I read up a tweet recently on Adesanya saying, unless it was an interview, but one of the judges gave Vittori the rounds,
Yeah.
or whatever, and the other two obviously gave it to Adesanya, so he won. And on the statement that he said is like, you got lucky with that one judge giving you those points,
yeah.
but I'm gonna make a statement this time to make everyone believe that you never deserve that or something
Right.
like
There
that.
there ain't going to be points going to you at all, like in this fight. Is
Yeah.
basically what he's
Vittori,
saying.
right, and Vittori looks like he's got anger issues all the time too.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I don't think it's gonna be as funny as Adesanya fucking up Paulo Costa, because
Yeah.
that dude's just been. It's been what, almost a year
Yeah.
since that fight,
Close
and
to
like
it.
dude's still making up excuses about his loss.
Billy, look up Paulo Acosta. Acosta, I believe.
We watched one of his fights before.
Yeah, I don't think you were there with that fight. You could have been. So big buff dude, big pretty boy. Was he undefeated at this point, or only maybe like one or two losses?
Yeah, he was undefeated up to that point.
So it was a big
It was like this dude is
Big
this dude is
promotion.
giant, and like there's a chance that because he's a menace, he can probably take out Adesanya.
I'm sorry, it's
Which
Paulo
is-
Costa, not Acosta.
Yep.
Yeah, which is they were both undefeated at that time.
And like in most of his fights, he's torn apart everyone that he fought. And
He even went
Adesanya,
toe to toe. Sorry to cut you off
No,
again.
go ahead,
I'm sorry,
go ahead.
but he even went toe to toe with this Cuban dude that nobody wants a piece of, Yoel Romero.
Yeah.
Dude is like a genetic freak. Like you look at him and dude's just a giant. And like nobody wants a piece of him because one, he's a counter fighter, so he waits for you to attack,
Yep.
so he can throw in like a really hard punch and fuck you up. And Paulo Costa almost knocked him out.
Yep.
I mean, he won the fight by decision, but like he got him wobbly a couple times, and that was just really unheard of for Yoel Romero.
Mhm.
So like both of those guys ended up beating Yoel Romero, and now they ended up facing each other, and it just led up to a really overhyped fight, but it was also a hilarious ending more than anything.
Yeah. So the whole situation with so backing up a little bit, Adesanya is I think he's a 2 division champion right now. One loss, which was his most recent fight, which even then, he was fighting a much bigger guy than him, and the guy he fought was a champion in that weight class. Very, very good fight, Adesanya Adesanya, so they call him the last style bender. So, like Avatar type.
Yeah.
At the beginning of every fight, he does some weeaboo, type like Naruto shit. He does like Naruto stances. He's a fucking goober, right? Um,
Hmm.
his fighting style, in my opinion, is weird. He's a good fighter. He has knockout power. He's very good, but he also is a counter fighter. And ever since he became champion, he's been a lot smarter with his fighting. So a lot more of
Hmm.
his fights have been going to decision. So the Costa fight, it was kind of in between. He picked him apart here and there, but some rounds were a little bit slower. Um, but in one round specifically, he got Costa on his fucking back and started teabagging him.
Yeah, that was after he beat him.
Oh,
It
that was at
TKO.
the ref, coming in. He teabagged him as he was standing
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
and people were giving him shit for it. And Costa, so the thing he said was it was justified.
Oh my god.
So
And
then, or go, you could talk about the Odyssey or the Costa
yeah,
excuses.
Paulo Costa has just been making so many excuses since. He was just one of the bigger ones was him saying, "Oh, I couldn't sleep the night before, so I ended up drinking a couple bottles of wine and I got drunk. So, now I'm just like I went into this fight really bad or whatever, just making up excuses and
He said he was drunk off of fucking wine, walking into a UFC fight.
Guy's metabolism can definitely process wine. I can tell you that with how he looks.
Right, but even then, like, why are you making that fucking excuse, man?
seriously, just take the L and go.
Right, like take it humbly, but and I understand though because Adesanya he's a talker, so before, after, even in the middle of the fight, he's talking shit. He's gonna get under your skin, So Costa's trying to save whatever dignity he can, but he can't,
Making it worse.
Yeah.
Right.
So the fight tonight, I could be wrong. I think Adesanya's gonna win. I haven't watched enough of Marvin's fights to really know how he fights, but he's 17-4-1, not a bad record at all. Adesanya is 20-1. The fight I'm looking forward to though is Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz. So Nate Diaz, the last time he fought was against Jorge Masvidal, if I remember correctly, right? Z? That was the
Leon
baddest.
Edwards?
That was the no.
Oh
Nate
no,
Diaz.
Nate Diaz. Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who Leon Edwards has fought recently. So Nate Diaz
Yeah.
hasn't fought for, call it, 4 years now, I think. The thing is, the Diaz brothers, Nate and Nick, are just beasts. They are a legacy in the UFC. They're all of their fights are great. The best part about Nate Diaz fights though is he can take the best of the best hits and still stand, but his fights are entertaining because the actual skin on his face is so soft and, like, just from years of fighting, like, rough, or not soft, but it's so, like, rough that even a soft punch will tear him open. So after the end of every Nate Diaz fight, even if he wins by a lot, the entire ring's covered in blood. It is a complete and utter bloodbath.
Yeah.
Um,
And another thing about his fights is, especially when he's winning, he does some funny shit. Like he will either slap the guy during the fight instead of an actual punch, either slap him, or he'll have these moments like I think there was a fight that he had where he was in the middle of submitting a guy, and he was flicking him off.
So
or something like
he got him in like a triangle choke or something with his legs, and either was going like this or was going like this as he was choking him out
Yeah.
with his legs.
So he's just all around fun to watch, no matter what.
Yeah, they're entertaining guys. I don't like his attitude, but I mean that's, I think, what he sells. He sells the fact that he's a douchebag, and it works for him. He's gonna get paid a fucking lot for this, just because he's entertaining.
In the press conference yesterday or 2 days ago, he he ended up lighting a joint during.
Yep.
Because it
You're in
was
Vegas.
it was No, they're in Arizona.
Oh, are they in Arizona? Oh, it's
Yeah.
legal in Arizona too, right?
Yeah. So he just lit it up and just started smoking in the process. Like that was
Yep.
just funny to watch.
Um,
So I wanted to talk about this. I don't know if it's true or not because I haven't actually like delved into it or anything. But uh, there's WWE. We used to watch it all the time when we were younger. Um,
did
I don't know
you
about
did
you,
you
Billy.
watch it all, Billy?
Oh yeah, I had an uncle who was in love with that shit, so I'd watch it all the time with him.
Oh yeah, I I stopped consistently watching it. Um, a little, I don't know. I want to say it was like 2014, 2015, something like that. Stopped consistently watching it. And like even then it wasn't consistent. I was just subbed to their network and then just wanted to watch
Their
their
Pornhub.
pay-per-views.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. But I always like kept in I always like kept like looking through to see like how well one of
Hmm.
my some of my favorite wrestlers were doing. So every now and then I check on it. But recently they've let go a lot of people during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But recently they let go some of their top stars. Like one of them is this guy named Braun Strowman, which the last time you've seen a dude that big was probably someone like Batista, as likable, as like intimidating, and good on the mic, stuff like that. Dude was the top wrestler. I mean, they ended up letting him go. They let these tag team women's wrestlers go, even though they were hot. Like a lot of people really enjoyed seeing them, and they were doing really good in whatever run they had. I don't know, but point is, I was watching a couple videos on these guys that like to talk about like back in the day WWE whatever, but they ended up bringing up the process is like or the question is Vince McMahon getting ready to sell WWE because he's been letting go of a lot of people, and they've recently uh, partnered their network with Peacock, which is NBC. So the question was, if they do sell, there's probably only two companies that would be willing to like buy it off. One, Disney, just because Disney is becoming a monopoly at this point, and two, NBC, just because they've always had like good partnerships with NBC. So it's just
Yeah.
like, is he really going to sell? Like, I mean, it's his baby. It's not even just his baby. It's a family legacy. Like his dad was like doing it before him too, and it's I don't know. I just think that's crazy. I didn't. I like I said, I haven't really delved into it at all, but just seeing that question pop up, I'm like, dude, yeah, it just makes you think. Just because they've been letting go of a lot of talent, and their numbers are not where they used to be. That's for sure.
Hmm.
It's true.
I just think it'd be weird and
Um,
slightly upsetting, just because I don't know, just because I grew up with it. But that's yeah, I just wanted to bring that up a bit.
it's interesting to bring up because like you said, especially with the pandemic, it's falling off quite a bit. With the popularity of like UFC and boxing again getting more popular, that might even pull away from people's interest in a performance sport, not a real sport. Um,
Right.
but first of all, selling to Disney would be the biggest fucking mistake. And not on Vince McMahon's part. He'd walk out with being a billionaire more than
Billions.
likely.
Yeah.
But from a entertainment point, if Disney were to buy that, that's going down the drain within the first few months, in my opinion. They're too PG with everything.
You mean you don't want to see the Mando and fucking some other random Joe Schmo just going at it?
You know what? Just for the sake of making it a little more ridiculous than it ever was, I think Disney could pull that off.
Uh, there was a WWE wrestler named Vader, so that has already been foreshadowed. So there you fucking go.
Vader and Mando.
But like actually though, like I mean, I didn't watch WWE nearly as long as Z, but the most entertaining shit to me were like the more brutal matches. The
Run
street
people through
fights,
tables.
Right,
Yeah.
which went away
with the
like
PG era that they
early no not
2000
2008 something like that.
2007,
They were
2008.
transitioning.
Yeah.
They were transitioning. I mean, everyone knows obviously it's because of the whole Chris Benoit situation.
Yeah.
But like yeah, everyone really loved it, and then like the more it changed, the more people got away from it. But I mean, they catered more to kids afterwards.
Yeah. Um, how old is Vince McMahon?
He's
Old.
in his 70s.
He is 75.
Yeah,
So
'cause I remember when he hit 70, they did a huge thing with Muscle and Fitness where he was on the cover and dude was still yoked to the fucking gills.
yeah. So now my thing though with that is Vince McMahon for years has been like the big guy. You know, he's been making all the shots behind the scenes, all of that. How much of that has gone into other people at this point? Is it just his decision? Like I think Triple H is probably one of the bigger owners now, you know, so would that be a conversation
Well,
between McMahon and
at
Triple H?
at the end of the day, it's still just Vince McMahon's decision. Like,
Well,
sure, he'll
he's
have
just the majority owner though.
he's I don't know how I don't know how to like dive into that part, but it's yeah, it's for the most part, if not entirely, his decision. I mean, yeah, he's got a board, he's got like obviously, yeah, like you said, Triple H, he's got his son, his daughter, people
So,
behind the scenes and stuff, but
just from a quick Google, he owns 42% of the company, but he has 70.5 voting power, 4% voting power.
okay.
So he has majority vote. So that
In a sense is pretty much his decision.
yeah, I think that's just his decision. So
What he says goes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, that's how it's even been with all the storylines and stuff. No matter what they decide to go with, it's still his decision. Like he's the one that gives it a go or
right.
cancels it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? That's such a a big company for so fucking long. But then you also got to think from a money standpoint, and he is money motivated. From a money standpoint, it probably is smarter to sell at this point.
Probably
And
just
it's
doesn't have probably just doesn't have faith in his son and daughter or his son-in-law. Like it's
yeah,
probably just like he thinks they're gonna run it down. Who knows? But there's a lot of people that would say otherwise. They would probably say that Triple H is, especially with how well he's made NXT become what it is now. Like maybe he's got the better chops to like keep moving with it. But I don't know.
you remember when Trump owned WWE for a week?
Yeah.
That
Remember when
was
Trump wrestled for WWE?
Yeah,
Wow.
the fucking takedown that he did on Vince. People still use that as memes. Like when he first became president, or like before he became president, and he brought up that fake news shit. They used that same gif of him tackling Vince, just putting the CNN on top of it.
that brings up something that I hated. The Logan Paul versus Mayweather fight. They
Yeah.
pumped Mayweather up so much with like fighting people bigger than him by showing the clip of him fighting the fucking Big Show in WWE.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
Like that is any comparison. Like we all know that the outcome in WWE is fake. What they do, what they
Right.
physically do, is real. You know, it hurts. You know, they purposely do things to make it less painful. So like,
Well,
I'm gonna drop you, but you know how to drop properly so it doesn't shatter your fucking back. Stuff like that. So he put on brass knuckles and went for a punch on the Big Show to knock him out. Big Show knows how to move his body, move his head, and you know all of that. Like, how are you going to compare any of that in a actual? Well, I say actual in a quote unquote real fight against Logan Paul.
like I said, man, that's all he's been. That's all he's ever been was just a marketer for his fights.
Yeah.
There's only certain hardcore fans that really enjoy Mayweather fights, but for the most part, people wanted to always go in and see Mayweather lose.
Yeah.
But he was just what you saw with that fight against Logan Paul was what he always did.
Just
He
money.
would always run around and pick the person piece by piece until he won by points at the end of the fight. And that's just how he's always been. He's never been one for a knockout.
The same people that like to watch Mayweather are the same people who like to watch like Daniel Cormier in the UFC. Daniel Cormier is a wrestler. His whole thing is he will outlive his opponent throughout the entire thing by just wrestling and stamina alone. He's a fat dude, but has hella cardio. I don't understand it.
Yeah, for
And
his size. Yeah.
yeah, so
Wrestling.
he wins by points for 90% of his fucking fights. And to me, like, I like I like a violent fight. I like going back and forth. Max Holloway is one of my favorite fighters of all time, just because he's not scared to stand in the middle of a ring and take shots to give shots back out. That's the kind of fighting I like.
Sitting back fist.
Yeah, right. God.
Another like side note on that. I don't know if you guys knew, but talking about Logan Paul and Paulo Costa, they actually wrestled each other at one point.
Yeah.
They sparred.
Yep.
And fucking Logan Paul was actually doing really good against him because
He looked good.
oh, well, in the wrestling aspect.
It looks like he was stuffing him on every attempt, from what I saw.
Yeah.
Didn't Logan Paul wrestle though in like high school or college or something?
Yeah, he was a wrestler.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So just like seeing him being able to like do that with Paulo Costa is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It just makes you wonder. I'm like, did he like? Sure, he went for the boxing fight, but I mean, come on, man. People would much rather see Logan Paul in UFC
Yeah.
or in some sort of MMA fight just because
He's-
they already know that he's got a wrestling background.
But he knows where the money is, and that's
True.
you know.
True.
I might even like Logan Paul a little bit more if he actually put in effort and went into, like something like the UFC. But they're all only money motivated, and I don't give a fuck about that. Like I've said it each episode. I do not like the Paul brothers at all. But
Yeah, I never.
that's how they make their money. They make people hate them.
Mm-hmm. And
And
they're good at it.
same with Mayweather. Mayweather sold every single fight he had by being a dick.
Yeah.
And once he started getting that win streak, then people are like, well, now I just want to watch his fights to see what they thought the inevitable loss, and he never did lose. But what pisses me off
Unfortunately.
the most about all of that was because it's an exhibition match.
Your nonsense.
An expedition, because it's an expedition, there is no winner because it went all 8 rounds.
This has been the Mer nonsense.
Hey, man, man, right here, breakfast. They took their dabs.
This is exactly why we chose you to say it.
Well, this has been the Mere Nonsense podcast. I don't really have anything else to say. We're kind of over our hour mark. Do you boys have any last minute thoughts?
No, I mean, actually, yeah, I kind of wish that they showed something for that Ubisoft Star Wars game, but it might have been too early to do that. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I just wish they showed a little bit of something for it.
Well, I think that deal is too early into its existence to show
there have been
anything.
moments during an E3 where they showed just concept art of like
That's
where
true.
they want to take it.
That's
You know,
true.
so
Give us a title.
but yeah, oh yeah, that too.
You know, give us a title. Give us like a coming late 2023 or some bullshit. But or even just a dude that walks out on the stage and goes, "Hey, we don't got shit for you, but these are our thoughts. We just signed this contract, and this is what you should be expecting out of us."
Agreed.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was my take on it. I just wish they showed a little bit of something for that.
What about you, Bilky? Anything else?
No, that was it. I feel like I talked too much this time.
I am
Which is what we want.
exactly. I am much happier with you talking too much.
Going back to my
Hopefully,
shell.
hopefully next week I don't have to mention anything about the Paul brothers ever.
Or your apartment.
Hopefully we see your apartment just burst into flames next
Yeah.
week.
Hopefully I'll be in a completely different building by the time you see me next. So,
He's gonna
um,
be in a box next time.
yeah,
The back of his car. Kara's gonna be holding the camera for him.
I'm gonna be at work. I'm gonna be sleeping at my job.
Oh, what's
is my
Brad
bum.
wearing? Khakis.
Khakis. I did wear khakis
Uh,
this week.
Oh,
Nerd.
look at you.
Yeah, it's well actually, so they told me that I can wear jeans, and that's for a big company letting me wear
Easy.
jeans, big money.
My job lets me wear jeans.
Oh, I wonder fucking why, because they don't see above your nipples.
Well, I mean, now I don't even have to wear pants now since I'm working from home. I don't even
I'm
have to wear
sure-
clothes. I'm not even on camera.
I'm sure they wouldn't care if you did or did not wear pants to the office, anyways.
So,
As long as there
you
was
know,
something covering the bottom.
It all makes sense now why there's a peanut butter jar on your desk.
There's two.
Why?
And I see your dog coming in
for
every now and
scooping,
then.
one for scooping, and then one for, well, you know.
I don't have any peanut butter.
You got catnip?
I do.
Works just as well.
Sprinkle that down there. Oh boy.
Exactly. Just don't get surprised when they bite.
Okay. Thank you everyone for listening. I'll see you guys next week. Okay. Bye.
Hey.
Bye.
This is awkward. I can't find the stop
Oh
button.
no.